Welcome to Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We are giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. And we are here on Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Wednesdays, like today, like this program, it's our special edition of Tell Me Your Story. And then we're here Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. And all those time slots, not only is it following the news on this fine radio station, but it is also streamed live at those times at richarddugan.com. We are also podcasting on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and many other locations too numerous to mention. We're also on YouTube, where you can watch these programs, these interviews, these podcasts, these conversations. And we hope that you will subscribe, as well as select or click notification, so that when a new conversation is posted, you'll be notified and you can tune in and listen in and have a great time learning something new, adding to your plethora of choices that we give you here on this program. We also ask that if you can support the work that we are doing financially, we would be so gratefully appreciative. We have an email, we have a PayPal account that is there for your security as well as ours, and the email address that you want to put into the field when they ask to whom are you sending, richard@richarddugan.com. That's richard@richarddugan.com. And then spend some time going within and listening to that still small voice during the decade of perfect vision. And actually, that's quite appropriate, especially considering the conversation we are having with our very special guest in this 9 o'clock hour on this particular version of Tell Me Your Story with LUMARI. LUMARI.com is the website, and we are talking about living inspired with LUMARI. And welcome to this to the program today. And we're actually only 1 week away from wrapping up the book.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here, Richard. This is really exciting. And to have conversations about really recognizing and understanding what inspiration really does, it just warms my heart and spirit.
Well, I think I'm beginning to understand the proper position of inspiration, and it's not the action; it is the motivation for the action. And I've been inspired over the past couple of months through a lot of changes, and as a matter of fact, being inspired to make those changes is probably more accurate. And today we are going to focus on making room for inspiration. And inspiration meets you in your own reality and then helps transform your experience so you can perceive more. Now discover the 3 transformational tips to empower your journey of living inspired. And that's what we're going to focus on today, is those 3 tips. But before we do that, we are going to talk about the dimensions, the many dimensions, I should say, and aspects of inspiration that we can engage in and practice. And, LUMARI, who was given this book, also understands that right now we are chosen by Spirit to receive the blessings of inspiration, but there are ways to encourage inspiration to find you, and ways that you can make yourself more available to inspiration. And I'll put it this way, from what I just shared, LUMARI, we have to open the darn door or window. No one's going to do that for us.
Well, and it's really important to be able to, like I like to say, it's really important to be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because playing in any circumstance is engaging. You're not just passive. You're not just wondering. You're actually engaging with the energy. And that's really important. Even if we talk about meditation and you talk about being in the silence, you're actually engaging the silence. Otherwise, you'd just be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, multidimensionally, you're probably engaging it there, but you're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is being able to go on a journey. And and everybody who's been listening knows how passionate I am about inspiration, the real frequencies of inspiration, so that everybody can have access to the gifts and the blessings of the divine. Because in any circumstance, when we're talking about inspiration, okay, filmmakers, inspired. They have a story, or they had a gift, or the actors came up with something. Music, inspiration. Art, inspiration. Creating a new community, inspiration. Engaging a new business, inspiration. I could go on, but I want you to get, it's not only the creative side. It's being able to be open to, pay attention, and receive these messages from the divine and take action. The thing that's so amazing to me, and again, it's because I'm really passionate in this, and if I look at this world and I think of people really engaging with inspiration and connecting with their soul in it, whoa!
Yeah.
How much change could we be making? And we would be aligned with each other, because you would see people in the world connecting with that divine guidance, that inspiration, and you would want to play with them.
Right.
It wouldn't be anything judgment. It's not about control. It's not about making people do something or feel guilty that they're not doing something or any of those things. Inspiration is a whole other thing. It lifts you into more of you, and then you're sharing your gifts, however they look, in the world. Well, it becomes a beautiful experience for you and for others.
I think that one of the aspects of this, in terms of choosing to open that door or window, to be honest with you, you can choose whatever metaphor you want. For every window that closes, a door opens, or vice versa. But it is a choice that we make. I could have been inspired, or I could have continued to wallow in, why is it taking so long for my book, and going through that process. And help us to understand this, Lumari. There is an element of surrender, isn't there?
I would call it participation.
Okay.
Okay? So it is being open to receiving. But the thing is, and this is where I'm getting really clear about it for everybody. A lot of times people receive it and they don't pay attention. They don't get that a message from the divine, however you look at that, is being sent to them. So, oh wow, isn't that cool? I just had an idea for a book. Huh? Boom. Coffee, please. Done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're not in that. Now, when you're open to it and you're participating, you go, oh, I just had an idea for a book. Oh, wait, where's my pen? Where's my notepad? I got to write it down. I may not be writing the book right now, but I got to write down all my ideas because I just received this. This is amazing. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I need to engage. I need to participate with that. That's a whole other thing. Just like sitting there thinking is like, okay, I'm going to use a completely different metaphor. Oh, we need food in this world. Huh. Gardens are cool. All right. So where is the new TV show? Okay. There is no food if you don't go to the garden and start planting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying it that way so you really get it in a different picture, because a lot of times part of the, let me see how I can put this. part of the negative conversation from some people about inspiration is they actually think it's kind of flaky. That, well, everybody gets ideas, so what? Right? You should be paying attention to this and follow these steps and all that stuff. But the thing is, the divine is tapping you on the shoulder and going, darling, and then whatever the inspiration is for you to receive. Well, on the one hand, like, why would you not pay attention? I mean, seriously, why would you not pay attention? Second of all, if I look at it from the other side, you're lucky the divine isn't going, oh, really? You're not paying attention to me? Okay, fine. Someone else gets this. You don't. Ha ha. Right?
I love it.
Because where are you going to play? And the other thing is that some people look at inspiration, and again, I've shared that I was an artist before I was doing, as well as when I was doing my spiritual work, but I shifted to do more of my spiritual work and my guidance and counseling, etc. Of course, writing great books. But the thing is that some people just think of inspiration like it's only artists. But if you are an artist, you pay attention to the inspiration. So no artist gets a great idea for painting and walks away and goes, I'll do something in a couple of weeks. No musician receives a song and goes, hey, I'll do it later. That doesn't happen. But it's not only for the arts, because if you look at all the fantastic ideas we have that people have brought into being that we didn't have before, these are life-changing and world-changing ideas. Somebody had to come up with solar energy as an idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody had to come up with organic gardening because the chemicals came out and people were using them. And we could go on, right? I mean, they have, what do they call it? Electronic printing of houses. 3D printed houses.
Oh, yeah. That is incredible.
Who
Yeah.
came up with that one?
Yeah.
Right? It's like from a printer that prints like, text to a 3D printer that prints your house. Come on, that's inspiration in a variety of different ways. That's why I'm sharing it like that. So you want to really be open, but be open in a way that you're participating. Not simply that you're receiving it, taking a note, putting it in your file, and not remembering it for 5 years.
Mm. Yeah. Let's make a shift here, and let's take a look, as we have over the last period of time. We're going to take a look now at what we referenced at the front end of this program, 3 transformational tips to empower your journey of living inspired. And the first tip number 1, be open to inspiration, the energy of awakening. It's kind of what we've been talking about. And first, before taking in all of the great information, be open to inspiration, as we've already talked about. Open the door or the window and so forth. And that's kind of what we've been talking about already. What are some of the things that we can do to make ourselves open to inspiration? And are we talking more about a mindset than anything else?
I like to call it a being set.
Okay.
Right? So that when you're looking at it, so one aspect is, of course, you have to remind yourself or declare to yourself, however you like to phrase it, that you are open to receiving inspiration. Now, again, I want to remind people that it's the art of inspiration, awakening, revelation, transformation, so that you understand like what engaging is. Now, being open to it, you've told the universe that you're actually going to pay attention, that you're open to it, that that you might receive inspiration that you received a long time ago or lifetimes ago, and it's coming back to you. You might have ignored things or judged them. So being open to it means you don't ignore it anymore. You don't judge it anymore. You entertain it. You're engaging in the conversation of the inspiration that's come to you. So, and one of the things about inspiration that's interesting is that it may not be that you get the whole outline and step-by-step thing in the moment. You might receive an idea that builds upon it later because you're open to it. You may receive something and you go, I don't know about this. But if you can be open, then you can say, I don't know about this, but I'm curious. I'd like to engage with it and see where it takes me. It might be something that the divine gives you as an idea and inspiration. You go, I don't even know what this is. But you don't let it go past you and fly away from you. You go, oh, all right. Well, I don't know what it is. Isn't that amazing? You know, and I could say, oh, isn't that amazing? There's something I don't know about. But it's a place where you can awaken into it. And being able to participate and open to it, it gives you a space where you're entertaining and reaching far into the expansive and the extraordinary, and you're allowing yourself to go on the journey.
Well, we need to definitely do that, open ourselves up to the opportunities that avail us. We're talking with LUMARI. We're talking about her book, Living Inspired with LUMARI, available at lumari.com. And you are listening to Tell Me Your Story. I'm your host, Richard Dugan, and this is a lot of fun, what we're doing here on this particular program, this particular time slot. The Wednesday edition, I call the special edition. And LUMARI is a gifted, internationally acclaimed intuitive life coach, a creation catalyst, a conscious channel, and vibrational activator who has guided thousands of people worldwide to awaken and live their higher soul's callings. LUMARI has channeled Alawashka. It's the original language and vibrational source of creation. And these pure creation and activation frequencies uplift your life and our world. And she is an award-winning and best-selling author of numerous breakthrough spiritual, metaphysical, and self-help books that help you awaken to new insights and frequencies that will change your life. And she also offers a free meditation. You can receive a free meditation. It's a free gift at lumari.com/sacred space. It's a personal sacred space meditation that helps you feel clear and whole, connected to your deeper self, and in touch with your own energy, vision, and purpose. And as we've been doing for the last few weeks, we've been talking, of course, about the book Living Inspired with LUMARI, which we're going to focus on for at least one more week. And then we're going to move on to another book that she has had channeled through her, or that she's channeled through her. We're going to talk about the Akashic Records, which I'm very excited about because I've always enjoyed going to the library, even if I don't have a library card. So it's it's actually a lot of fun. We're going to get back into the 3 steps that we've been talking about here. And of course, when you understand certain aspects or qualities of inspiration, like resonance, relationship, and frequency, you can invite inspiration into your life and open to it. Then you can actually create it. So it becomes, in a manner of speaking, it becomes second nature. It's now a part of you that you are, if you're open to it and you keep doing it. It's like I've talked about, Lumari, about listening to that still small voice. The more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. It's just part. It becomes almost as easy, and we don't even think about this, as breathing. Like I said, we don't usually think about breathing, which actually there are times when it's a good idea to spend some time consciously breathing. So we're going to go into our second tip. Number 2, seize the moment, the energy of revelation. Of course, you know what concept comes to my mind, what phrase from a movie comes to my mind: carpe diem, seize the day. And in this case, forget about the day. Let's focus on moments, okay? Because that's where inspiration is. And living inspired is self and self-generated. And when you are living inspired, you are at cause. You initiate it. You create it. You have to seize the moment and be present in it. If the opportunity shows up, take it. If the world moves to a new perspective that only you can see, watch it. Be present to revelation. This is the revelation in the art, A-R-T, that we've talked about over the past months in terms of our conversations. So let's talk a little bit about this in terms of, okay, I've opened myself up, I've opened the door, as it were, to accepting, receiving inspiration. Now I've got to seize it. I've got to grab it, so to speak, by the horns. And
no horns.
No horns. Okay, no. Grab it by the reins, okay? Or the steering wheel. What, again, the metaphor is your choice. And go and go. And by the way, there's a phrase that I used in my book about the end of life, for example, and that is that life is not to be lived to where at the end you just passively just kind of drift off. This particular poem talks about how you want to be racing to the finish line with a handful of chocolate covered strawberries in one hand and a glass of champagne in the other, and you slide in and say, "Wow, what a ride! Let's do it again." And you kind of want to grab inspiration in the same way, don't you?
Yes, and being in that energy, it's really fabulous to understand that inspiration and having the revelation means that one aspect or the next aspect of inspiration reveals things to you. So you get to see them and know them. You get to feel the guidance. And you get to recognize your connection with spirit, because inspiration is a gift. And it's really important to know that you want to honor the fact that you've been chosen and that you're receiving it. So revelation and realization opens you to very different dimensions of who you are and how you are. And so the difference in that is like being able to go, oh yeah, that's the sun, okay, next. And being able to go, oh, look at that sunrise. It's shining light upon the world. Everything's awakening in the morning because the light awakens the birds and the flowers and everything else. That's a whole other revelation of what morning is. Using that as an example for the realization and the revelation of what inspiration is.
Mm.
And you sit there and you go, oh, because the inspiration is a truth. It's the divine communing with you. It's the truth.
Mm.
And you And you are connecting in a way with this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to guide everybody just with an image right now.
Okay.
So just in this moment, everyone take a nice breath. You're standing in a breathtaking garden. All the flowers are in bloom. The birds are singing their unique symphonic and symphony, and it's in perfect harmony with your mood. The fragrance is delicious. The beauty is overflowing. The color is rich, and you are amazed at the feelings you have right now. And you're grateful and happy and present to the wonders that life has right in this moment. So now, visualize yourself taking a step into this garden. Put your arms out wide and take a step forward into the garden. And then wrap your arms around all of it and embrace the whole garden. All of the trees, the flowers, the birds, and the butterflies. And embrace the music of the birds, the fragrance of the flowers, and the beauty of the whole vista. Now, begin to bring it right inside your body. Take your arms and bring the whole thing right into your body, in your heart, and into your soul, and just embrace that in this moment. And now take a breath and just experience yourself as a walking, breathing, dancing, laughing, singing garden. And now take a breath and feel that and hold that experience within you. This is what active inspiration is like. And living inspired can be just like this.
LUMARI is our guest here on the program, and you are listening to Tell Me Your Story, and we are talking about living inspired with LUMARI, available through her website, lumari.com. And don't forget about that free gift, that sacred space meditation. We certainly hope that you will take advantage of that. It is something that will really make a difference in your life, I do believe. So I hope that you'll take advantage of that. We are talking about all of this in light of, my God, the plethora of changes that are going on in not just the world today, but in our lives. And here's one thing I'd like to talk about before we go to number 3. Sometimes there are changes that, for example, in my life, over the last 2 months specifically, to keep it simple, I have chosen to make certain changes in my life. And it's almost as if I have, and I can't think of a different metaphor at the moment, there's this still pond, and I mean the water is like a mirror. And I have taken this stick and I have just stirred it up like crazy. Okay? And all kinds of stuff is coming up from the bottom and moving around and changing and all of this. But I chose to make those changes, which then expands, like the stirring of the water, those ripples. I suppose I could have used a drop of water, but I liked the stirring part because it shows more action as far as being inspired. I was inspired to stir up the water. And now those ripples go out. And then they come back after they've bounced off the shore. and they change the configuration of everything. And I guess one of the things that a lot of folks, quite honestly, they're afraid of is just that, change. But when you open the door to inspiration, Lumari, don't you also need to be willing to embrace the changes that are going to come? I mean, after all, you chose to open the door to inspiration. You chose to seize it. So why would you be afraid of the changes that are coming, especially not knowing what those are really going to be, but knowing that it's going to be different, and it could be very exciting, and it could be a lot of fun?
Yeah. Well, and that is, like we were talking about, part 3, transformation. Awakening, revelation, transformation. Mm-hmm. Change is transformation. Mm-hmm. Now, when we're talking about that, it's a higher level. It's not, oh, yeah, instead of having this for dinner, we'll have this. I mean, that could be a really powerful thing in your life, too, but it's way more simple than what transformation is. But when you're playing there, all the different levels of transformation are really in harmony with who you are. Sometimes they're subtle, and sometimes they're grand. But you want to be able to participate in the change and inspiration. You want to be able to embrace it. You want to be able to look at it and go, oh, I mean, seriously, our world is always changing. However you decide what those changes are and the reason for those changes, it's always changing. You can't look at the world from a week ago and think it's the same. It's not. It's not in the broad, universal kind of thing, and it's not in your life. And it's not in nature. Mm-hmm. We have cycles of nature changing all the time. I love using, the experience of nature because it's something that we can see and we don't have to try and get. Mm. If you live in some place that has winter, when the fall comes, the leaves change color. They change. Winter comes, they fall off. Spring comes, they bloom again. That's a continual change. Weather changes, energy changes, all of those different things. So when you embrace that transformation and change, you open yourself to be more of who you are, and you start to collaborate with the divine. Mm-hmm. Now it's not just something happening to you. This is living inspired. It's engaging the lights of awakening, revelation, transformation. You are participating. It's not change happening to you. It's you collaborating with the transformation that the divine is sending you. Mm. And who doesn't want to sign up for that one?
Well, exactly. It's funny because when I was going through grade school and high school, which, was compulsory, you had to go, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But as soon as I graduated, I took 6 months off. Ooh. And of course, living with my parents. And at one point in that 6 months, I thought, you know what? I want to go back to school. And the one course I chose to put in my list of classes was English. And on the first day of class, I thought I had made a huge mistake because they said, okay, in this class, you're going to write 5 essays. I don't think I'd ever written an essay before. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? Mm-hmm. And once they went through the formula, and then I wrote my first essay, the other 4 just came to life. And I was having a blast. I was loving English because obviously, I felt like I needed that, especially not that I had thought about writing a book then, but still, right. Who knew?
Right.
And it's like I was inspired to seek further education. This is not higher or lower. It's just further education, in this
Yeah.
case formal, that then opened the door that I didn't even see coming
Yeah.
to be in the business that I have been in, the vocation, for almost 45 years.
Yeah. And just being present to inspiration as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And these gifts can bring you so many different things. It can bring you discovery, connection, innovation, collaborations, community. I mean, it can lighten your purpose. And the thing is that we want to be really present to that change and transformation. Because no matter what you think about holding it steady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that if you're not really present to what the transformation is, then on the one hand, you will eventually feel stuck or resistant. On the other hand, you won't be participating in transformation in a conscious, enlightened way. So the dichotomy, now we're talking about inspiration, but the dichotomy, just so everybody knows, is that those who say they don't want change, they're the ones that try and control what's happening so that it looks like they think it should look, or that they want it to look, or they've decided that's the best way for it to look. But there's no real participation. There's no real illumination. There's no real transformation in it. We are in a world where we really can transform everything. I mean, seriously, we're not talking about someone's philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's too many people on this planet who are happy people are starving. Now, however you get to feeding the world, that's one thing. But I don't think we're happy having people starve.
No.
Or be unhoused. Or having medical difficulties. Or any of the other things. We could go on and on and on, because now it's hurricane season and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not what we want. We want to be able to be in the transformation. We can make the differences in all of those areas. It's not philosophical. It's a whole other way, excuse me. It's a whole other way of participating with transformation to make the inspiration part of our lives and make room for it in our world. And you get to collaborate with your own gifts. It changes your life and the gifts that you bring forward, and acknowledge, change the world, and it opens it. The one thing about inspiration also, not one thing, but one of the many things about inspiration, is that it releases limitations. So when we were talking earlier about feeding the world, I'm really clear I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there aren't people here who know how to do it, or who know how to get it started, and invite more people in that inspiration to actually change the perception of limitation and make them into conscious participation. And that's inspiration.
I have to say that, first of all, I don't have to say, but I'm going to. That's the other thing, is that there are phrases that I have used over the years, and it's like and that's another one of those that I've not had a problem with until I hear it coming out of my mouth, and that is using the word like. Like, this is really cool, like, and there are people that are that way. But for me, there are those phrases such as, I have to say, but what I want to throw out there is that I am conscious of the fact that I have generated the change machine. Okay? I am conscious that I did that through the various things I've done in the last couple of months. And the most recent was the renewing of my vows with my wife and making it official. And I don't know what's going to happen next. And I don't need to know, but I am excited about whatever does come, because I know that the motivation, if you will, the inspiration for making this particular change, and in terms of making our relationship quote unquote official, we now have the paper, then it changes things within the relationship. It changes things with the people we know. It also changes us as individuals, she and I.
Oh, yes.
And that, to me, there's something miraculous about that. Seriously, I really feel that there's something miraculous about that. And you've already been talking, of course, about the gifts and so forth. So we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to have you elucidate, if you will. You like that word? Elucidate on inspired actions. You got about 3 minutes.
I am so excited. All right. So listen, everyone, here's one thing that I want you to know. So first, I'm going to invite you to go to my website. I'm going to invite you to email me blessings@lumari.com, because I am creating a whole year's worth of inspired actions for you to take to uplift your life and change our world. This is a secret only we know. I have not told this to anyone. So I want you to know that because I'm speaking with Richard and I'm on this program, I'm revealing it to you for the first time. So inspired actions, where are you going to play? What are you going to do in this world to make a change in your own life? I want you to be able to be in the frequency of awakening, revelation, and transformation, so that you can take action through your inspiration. I mean, Richard, you just took a huge step. No matter what anyone else thinks of it in one way, for you, in your life, in your wife's life, you created another level of commitment that creates a transformation in your life. Well, everyone listening, how do you want to play? Wouldn't you love living inspired in your life? Waking up in the morning and feeling that light and feeling that passion and feeling that curiosity. That's how we want to play. And really understanding the true frequency of inspiration and divine connection, that is the place to play.
And I'm going to leave you folks with some questions to ask yourself until we get together next Wednesday to wrap up this book. What can I do right now to take that next step? What can I do right now to invite inspiration into my life? What can I do right now to take the actions that enlighten my path and of inspired exploration and contribution? And finally, will I take one step right now towards living inspired? And we've been talking with Lumari about living inspired with Lumari at lumari.com. And Lumari, I'm excited about next week because you have something very special to share with our listeners, and you'll be sharing that with us next week. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, everyone. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
And with that, we wrap up another edition of Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World, where we're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. And until our next broadcast, podcast, videocast, love to all, And by the way, love talal, that is to my beloved, that is Sanskrit, and that is directed to my wife. So I have been saying that for the past 15, 16, 17 years. That's right, 17 years. And then to my dear sister Jeanette, who has passed, I'm still listening. And to my father, who is also passed. Dad, continue to be happy because I am. And to my best friend, Doug, I called him Smokey. We knew each other for 53 years. I'm so excited about the fact that he's still with me. I'll see you on the other side. And to my dear friend Zorro, aho, aho.